A very good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this morning we are looking at Dara Blessed Mhlanga. He's going to remain in detention for 3 more weeks. And the report says Blessed Mhlanga will remain in detention for another 3 weeks until the 4th of April, as the state claims it needs more time before his trial begins. Meanwhile, he is still awaiting ruling from the High Court. So this is what is happening. Remember that the magistrate's court denied him bail. He applied bail to High Court on appeal, and High Court has suspended the court proceedings indefinitely, which means no one knows when the High Court is going to come and deal with this matter. So the biggest concern at this point in time is that when you look at whatever which is happening, the state is simply punishing Blessed Mhlanga because he's a man who presented himself before the police when they made a request. So let us take a look what the lawyer said.
Earlier today, the 14th of March 2025, Blessed Mhlanga appeared again at RONALD Magistrates Court for his routine remand. That simply refers to a periodic appearance by an accused person before a magistrate. The purpose of a remand appearance is perhaps twofold. Firstly, it is for the accused person to get an opportunity to interact with the presiding magistrate. If there are any problems that relate to the conditions of imprisonment, an accused person will be able to present those issues to a judicial officer. The second reason for a remand appearance is for the court to be informed or updated by the prosecution as to the status of investigations, the readiness or otherwise of the matter for trial. In our case today, we sought to hear from the prosecution about progress in the investigations. While at our previous appearance on the 20th of February 2025, the state had indicated that within 2 weeks, all witness statements would have been recorded and that investigations would be completed. Today, the state was singing a different tune, indicating that there are still a number of tasks relating to the investigation process that are yet to be completed. As a result of the unreadiness of the state to proceed, the matter was therefore postponed to the 4th of April 2025, when we expect the state to be in a readier position in respect of the forthcoming trial. On another note, we are still waiting for the High Court to inform us as to when the judge will be ready with his ruling on the issue of the evidence that is pointed to by the state as forming the crux of the state's case against our client. We were informed on the 12th of March 2025 by Justice Mandaza that Defense Counsel and the state would be contacted by the High Court Registry for the reconvening of the bail proceedings. We hope that the reconvening of those proceedings will be attended to without further ado, because the longer we wait for that preliminary ruling, the longer as well Blessed will be in custody. He really is keen to have his day in court and to prosecute his appeal and to get on with his life. The protracted period within which he's been in custody is beginning to take a toll on him, and we believe that there's absolutely no justification for his continued detention, and we therefore hope that we'll have the opportunity to address the court on the merits of his application for bail as soon as possible.
So this is what is happening, and this government is well bent on making sure that they punish people. Remember Job Sikala, his career politically as well as professionally, was destroyed by this regime when they arrested him and kept him without bail for a very, very long time, only for them to fine him at the end of a trial. Then he had to appeal to the High Court, and all those cases, he was the High Court ruled otherwise, overturned the judgments of the lower courts. The biggest problem which we have in Zimbabwe is that they will keep you in detention, then the magistrate will convict you, only for the High Court to overturn those convictions, because they know kuti inenge isiri mhosva, and they understand kuti umwe musi vanozomuka vasiri in power, so they would want to set a precedence through the High Court so that they won't be convicted under the same circumstances in the future. This is the biggest problem which we have right here in the nation of Zimbabwe, because when you look at it, the state must investigate, then arrest. But they are arresting to investigate, which means they are arresting somebody without sufficient evidence that a crime was committed. That is one of the biggest flaws which are in the justice system and the law enforcement in the nation of Zimbabwe. So Blessed Mhlanga is not supposed to be where he is. The people who actually spoke with the statements, they have not been arrested, but the person who interviewed them has been arrested. Why? So this is one of the biggest problems. So we will continue to fight for change. We will continue to be in solidarity with our brother Blessed, because nhasi ndiye, mangwana ndemumwe, mangwana ndini, mangwana ndiwe. We saw it happening to Job Sikala. Now it's happening to Blessed. Zvakamboitika kuna Joanna. Zvakamboitika kuna a lot of people who have suffered under the hands of this regime. Vanana Matai Kwekweza, they were dragged out of a plane by this regime, to a point yekuti Namatai couldn't even obtain an ID, and she had to fight in the courts. She had to sue the registrar's office for her to be given an ID. That is the extent this government can go sometimes. So let me tell you, apana musi, and that day is coming. I'm telling you, that day is coming. Change will come to the people, to the nation of Zimbabwe. Whether they like it or not, we will obtain change. What you need to do as a people is that let us continue to pray. Let us continue to be in solidarity with each other. Let us continue to speak. Never be fooled by anybody telling you that our voices are insufficient. They are sufficient. You will see what is going to happen in Zimbabwe because of the voices of the people, because of how people have been speaking against inhuman treatment of citizens by ZANU-PF. One day, chichamuka chakachaya. One day it will happen. So it might happen, vamwe tafa, kana tasungwa, kana taita say, but it will happen. So death didn't stop the removal of Robert Mugabe. Disappearance of Itai Dzamara didn't stop the removal of Robert Mugabe. When the time came, he was removed. What Itai Dzamara was saying is at the same basis they used to remove Robert Mugabe, which means this is a foundation which has been set. And a lot of people are going to suffer, but eventually change will come and the people will rejoice together. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Gerald. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming this morning. And let us continue to fight for change in the nation of Zimbabwe.